Chapter 1. Nicole hadn't cried in 3 days, which felt like a personal record, especially for someone trying to keep a business, a marriage, and 2 tiny humans alive, while convincing herself she was totally fine. She wasn't fine. She was running on caffeine, comparison, and the kind of desperate optimism that only shows up at 2 a.m. when you're Googling how to make passive income fast. At 28, Nicole should have felt proud. She owned a charming little plant shop in Denver, had a husband who adored her, and 2 healthy kids. But the truth? She was drowning in dreams that didn't pay the bills. On her laptop, 9 browser tabs blinked like taunts, Shopify stats, late rent notices, a half-written blog post, and 3 TikTok tutorials about how to make $10K from her phone. Her toddler was napping in the back room on a pile of packing blankets. Her coffee was cold, and her monstera was dying. Again. And still, she whispered to herself, maybe I just need one more good idea. The TikTok algorithm agreed. It fed her a video of a mom in leggings claiming she'd made 6 figures a year without touching a product. Just link it, promote it, cash in. No overhead, no inventory, no problem, the voice chirped, as if it were that simple. Nicole clicked, then clicked again. Her fingers moved faster than her thoughts, signing up for a TikTok shop account, ordering a starter ring light, and bookmarking 20 trending products she could start posting about. Succulent shears, plant-themed t-shirts, ceramic watering globes shaped like hedgehogs. This is perfect, she muttered. Plant people are going to eat this up. She didn't stop to wonder what exactly plant people were, or how she'd find them, or how posting 4 videos a day about things she didn't make or ship was going to revive her barely breathing storefront. The bell above the shop door jingled. Nicole startled, clicking her laptop shut like she'd been caught watching something inappropriate. Chase stood there, holding a bag of tacos and a Coke Zero. He wore his usual welding gear, denim, flannel, and the Carhartt jacket she'd tried to throw away twice, but he kept rescuing from the donation pile. I figured you forgot to eat, he said, eyeing the room. Looks like the jungle's still standing? You, though? I'm fine, she said too quickly. She took the bag and forced a smile. Thanks. Chase gave her that look, the one that was equal parts patience and concern, the one he used when the baby cried for no reason or Nicole insisted they didn't need directions. Long day? Nicole flopped onto the stool behind the counter. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm just diversifying. Chase raised an eyebrow. That's what we're calling it now? Nicole pulled a tiny pair of rainbow garden snips from her pocket. Look, trending item. I can link these on TikTok Shop and make money every time someone buys them. Do people want rainbow plant scissors? Apparently, she said. And if they don't, I've got a backup idea. Flip thrift clothes. I met a girl yesterday who makes like $500 a weekend. Chase set his soda down. Nicole? I know, she said, throwing up her hands. I should be focusing on the store, but this shop, it's not enough. Chase, I love it, but loving it doesn't pay the rent. And I can't just wait around for people to start caring about pothos, care tips, and hand-painted pots. He was quiet for a moment, the kind of quiet that made her want to fill the space with more ideas, more plans, more tabs. But then he said gently, You're allowed to want more. I just don't want you to burn out trying to chase everything at once. Nicole stared down at her phone. Another tab opened in her mind. What if she really could do all 3? The shop, the TikTok shop, the thrifting? Maybe even more. What if she could juggle them all and win? But before she could say it, the shop's phone rang. She picked it up, hoping it was a new customer. It wasn't. Hi, this is Margaret from Sunnyside Leasing, the voice said. I just wanted to check in. Your rent for the shop space is still outstanding. You're about 2 weeks past due. Is there a time we can expect payment? Nicole's throat tightened. Chase looked over. Everything okay? She nodded too fast. Yeah, totally. But the truth settled in her gut like a rock. She might have 9 tabs open, but none of them were solving her real problem. Chapter 2, Greenhouse or Graveyard. The next morning, Nicole unlocked the door to the Green Temptress with a shaky smile and a silent prayer. The once whimsical open sign hung silently crooked. The front window needed cleaning, and the begonia in the display had dropped 3 more leaves overnight. Nicole scooped them up like they were bruised little bits of her own hope. The air smelled like potting soil and lavender cleaner. Peaceful, maybe to a customer, but to Nicole, it felt like a waiting room, somewhere you lingered before hearing bad news. She swept the front walk, fluffed a hanging fern, and wiped down the counter, all while trying to keep her thoughts from spiraling. The rent was overdue. Her TikTok shop wasn't moving fast enough. Her thrift-flipping dreams were unflipped. She hadn't watered the philodendrons, or maybe she had. Everything blurred lately. At 10:30, she looked around at the silent shop, bit her lip, and made a decision. She grabbed a Sharpie and scribbled a note on the front door. Back in 20, or 30, mom life. Then she marched to the back room where the kids were building a fort out of empty plant pots and shipping boxes. "Okay, troops," she announced, sweeping a canvas diaper bag over her shoulder. "Adventure time! We're going on a business field trip." Her 5-year-old Lily peeked out from beneath a tarp like a suspicious raccoon. "Are we getting ice cream?" "Nope," Nicole said, hoisting her toddler on one hip and grabbing the emergency cheddar bunnies from the snack shelf. "We're going to a thrift store. Mommy needs to do entrepreneur stuff." Cue groans, eye rolls. The baby started chewing on her shoulder. It took 20 minutes, 2 snack refills, 1 outfit standoff, and a bribe in the form of a future trip to Target. But eventually, they were all strapped into the double stroller and heading down the sidewalk toward the Thread Revival. The moment Nicole pushed through the door, her senses were hit. Pop music, vintage perfume, the squeak of hangers sliding across metal racks, and a low hum of commerce. People were buying things. Macy, the red-lipped owner with a platinum pixie cut and Doc Martens, waved her over. "Nicole, welcome back. The tiny humans are cute accessories." Nicole gave a sheepish smile and tried to keep the stroller from knocking over a stack of cowboy boots. She wandered the aisles while Lily inspected every scarf in the accessory bin, and the baby chewed through half a wooden teether. "You want to make real money?" Macy said, sliding next to her. "Shoes and jackets. Flip them quick. Don't get too romantic. This is a numbers game. People say it's about style, but it's really about shipping costs and keywords." Nicole nodded like she understood, but mostly she was just trying to keep Lily from crawling into a fitting room. Still, the words echoed in her head like a siren call. Real money. 15 minutes later, Nicole left with a pair of low-top Converse, 2 vintage flannel jackets, and a glimmer of dangerous hope. This could work. This could be the thing. Back at the Green Temptress, she tucked the kids in with applesauce pouches and an episode of Bluey in the back room. Then transformed the only blank wall in the shop into a DIY photo studio. Neutral background, ring light, thrift finds. She pulled on the Levi's jacket, fluffed her hair, and hit record. "Okay, so this is like vintage lumberjack meets cool mom," she said into the mic, trying not to show the sweat forming under her bangs. She was halfway through her second take when the toddler shrieked. "A dirty diaper emergency." Nicole paused the recording, tossed off the jacket, and sprinted out to the back with the wipes in one hand and changing mat in the other. By the time she got the baby clean and fed and found Lily's lost sock, in a planter, of course, it was past 3 p.m. The jacket video, still unedited. Her in-store shelves, still untouched. And her only real customer for the day, a DoorDasher delivering the wrong smoothie order to the wrong address. Nicole sat behind the counter, exhausted. Her shirt was wrinkled. Her sales page wasn't posted. Her plant supplier had left a voicemail that she hadn't returned. And then the bell above the door jingled. She straightened. A woman stepped inside, a little older, wrapped in a navy pea coat and carrying a handbag that cost more than Nicole's weekly grocery budget. "Hi," she said. "Do you sell coffee here?" Nicole blinked. "Coffee?" "I saw your post about the cactus and coffee Saturdays. It sounded so cute. I thought I'd stop by early." Nicole's soul left her body for half a second. Oh, no. She had posted that a few weeks ago, a fake event idea meant to spark some engagement, something fun to someday organize. She hadn't followed up, hadn't even talked to the coffee shop yet. "Oh," Nicole stammered, forcing a smile. "That starts next week. We're just finalizing the collab. Definitely come back." The woman beamed. "I will. I have a plant-obsessed granddaughter. She'll love this place." Nicole nodded until the door closed behind her. Then she sank to the floor behind the register. Her phone buzzed. A text from Chase. "Any sales today? Want me to pick up a pizza?" She stared at the screen and slowly typed back. "No sales, no cactus, no coffee, just chaos." A moment later, "Yeah, bring pizza and maybe a time machine." She hit send, her stomach twisted, not from hunger, but from guilt, from failure, from the quiet dread creeping in like weeds in a forgotten greenhouse. Then her email dinged. Subject, rent reminder, final notice. Nicole didn't open it. She just pulled her knees up to her chest, took a shaky breath, and tried not to cry in front of the philodendron. Chapter 3, Worn Out and Wired. The pizza box sat on the shop counter like a peace offering. Nicole ate a lukewarm slice over the sink while the baby banged a plastic shovel against the tile, and Lily sang the Bluey theme song on repeat. Chase leaned in the doorway, arms crossed over his oil-stained tee. "You were up late again." Nicole shrugged. "Just till 1:30. I wanted to finish a couple videos for the jackets." "And by videos, you mean editing TikToks for clothes you haven't sold yet?" "Shh," she said, raising a finger. "The algorithm can hear you." Chase didn't laugh. Nicole set the crust down, suddenly self-conscious. Her hands were sticky with potting soil and peanut butter. Her under eyes were darker than her eyeliner, and her brain felt like a whiteboard somebody kept writing on with a Sharpie and erasing with their sleeve. She reached for her laptop and opened a new browser window. "I'm just trying to figure things out, Chase. I know I'm all over the place, but if I don't keep moving, if I don't try things, I feel like I'm giving up." "You're not giving up," he said. "You're burning out." Nicole froze. She didn't want to admit it, but that word hit her harder than the rent notice. She started, then stopped. "The Green Temptress isn't growing, and I don't know how to fix it. People don't walk in. Online orders are slow. My reels barely get seen, but I see other people making it work. I just need something that sticks, something that works." Chase walked over and gently closed her laptop. "Then let's figure out how to make this work," he said, nodding toward the rows of neglected succulents and sad pothos hanging above them. "The shop is beautiful, Nick. You've got the heart, the eye, but you keep planting new things without watering the roots of the one you already love." Nicole blinked. The metaphor hit home. "That's poetic for a welder." "I've had practice," he smiled. "Being married to a woman who has 17 dreams a week sharpens a man's analogies." Nicole let herself laugh, really laugh, for the first time in days. Chase reached for her hand. "You don't have to quit dreaming," he said gently, "but maybe try channeling all the creative energy into this place, just for a while. Try everything, sure, but for the Green Temptress, not for everything all at once." Nicole looked around, the handmade pots, the drippy irrigation wall, the hand-lettered sign she made when the shop first opened. Planting magic one root at a time. She used to believe in that. She wanted to believe again. Later that night, after the kids were in bed and Chase fell asleep with one arm draped over the monitor, Nicole tiptoed into the kitchen with her laptop and a leftover Red Bull. The house was quiet. It was her favorite time of night, when no one needed anything and she could actually think. She opened a blank note. Ideas for the plant shop. "No flipping, no affiliate links, no new rabbit trails," she typed. "Host a plant and pajamas night. Open late, herbal tea, moms only. Create a shelf of $5 starter plants for kids. TikTok series, rescuing sad plants from clearance racks. Partner with local artists for plant pot collabs. Launch a subscription box. Later, not now, just an idea." For the first time in weeks, her brain felt a little less like a tornado. She lit a lavender candle, pulled a fleece blanket over her legs, and started designing a new front display in Canva, one built around healing houseplants and tiny handwritten signs. It wasn't a miracle, but it was momentum. Her phone buzzed, a notification from TikTok. The snake plant video she'd posted, just a random clip of her gently repotting a sickly plant, had hit 14,000 views. Nicole blinked. What? She opened the app. Comments were rolling in. "Where is this shop? I need to visit. I'd watch an entire series on reviving plants. This is the calm energy I needed today." Nicole stared at the screen, heart pounding. She hadn't sold anything yet, but maybe, just maybe, she was starting to be seen. She tapped a reply to one comment, then paused, her hands shaking. A shadow moved across the front porch. Someone was standing outside the Green Temptress, peering in through the darkened window. Chapter 4, Crash and Burn. Nicole froze, her fingers hovering over the keyboard. The shadow outside the Green Temptress lingered, tall, still, not moving. She stared at the screen door, heart pounding, every mother sense on high alert. And then it waved. She exhaled. It was Chase, holding a to-go cup of chamomile tea in her forgotten purse. He must have swung by after putting gas in the truck. He opened the door quietly. Didn't mean to scare you. Nicole put a hand to her chest. You are officially not allowed to lurk, especially not while I'm emotionally invested in Canva. Chase smirked and handed over the tea. Thought you could use this. And your wallet. It was in the diaper bag, wedged between a banana and a list of business ideas. Nicole groaned. Ugh, the banana has been with us since Monday. Chase chuckled, kissed the top of her head, and headed out. Nicole turned back to her laptop. The views on her TikTok were still climbing. But so was the pressure. The next morning, she came into the shop early, bursting with a new idea. A rescue plant bar where people could adopt sad clearance plants, repot them, and give them a second chance. She ordered a bulk load of ceramic pots on wholesale, printed little before and after tags, and even filmed a reel explaining the concept. It felt good, like forward motion. But by noon, Lily was melting down because her favorite sippy cup was too green, and the baby had smeared peanut butter across the checkout counter. Nicole hadn't eaten. Her head throbbed, and when she checked her bank account to order more soil, the card was declined. She blinked, checked again. 1642. She stared at the number like it might rearrange itself into something less humiliating. She hadn't even remembered the Shopify auto-renew fee had gone through the night before. Her phone buzzed from Sunny Bloom Wholesale. Your order has shipped. She had just dropped $160 on pots with money she didn't have. Nicole sat down hard on the floor behind the counter and let her head fall into her hands. The baby cried, the phone rang, a plant knocked over in the breeze from the vent, spilling soil all over the floor. Nicole cracked. Tears came hot and fast, the kind you can't swallow down, not when you're holding 12 broken things together with a prayer and 3 caffeinated beverages. The baby crawled into her lap and started patting her face like he was checking to see if she was still in there. I'm okay, she whispered. I don't know how to keep doing this. The door jingled. Chase again. Of course, always when she's crying. He took one look at her, crouched on the tile with a tear-streaked face and a baby on her lap, and said softly, Let's close early. I can't, Nicole choked. We haven't made a sale today. Again. I need this to work, Chase. I need something to work. Chase sat next to her. The baby crawled onto his lap like it was the most natural thing in the world. I know, he said, but you can't pour water from an empty watering can, remember? Nicole let out a breath. I don't want to give up. You're not giving up. You're choosing what to grow. That's different. I just want to do it all, she whispered. I want the TikTok shop to work, and the clothes flipping, and the plant bar, and everything. I want to be the woman who does everything and still shows up with clear skin and hot tea and a calm smile. Chase chuckled. Okay, well, she's a myth. But you? You're real, and you've built something beautiful. Nicole looked around her. The shop wasn't full of customers, but it was full of her. Her fingerprints, her vision, her heart. And maybe that meant something. Maybe that was enough for now. Chase stood up and helped her up. Come home early. Take a break. You can replant your strategy tomorrow. Nicole hesitated, then nodded. But as she turned off the open sign and gathered her bag, her phone dinged again. A DM from a boutique hotel in town. Hi, we love your shop. Would you be interested in supplying plants for our guest rooms? 40 total. Need them in 2 weeks. Let us know. Nicole's breath caught. 40 plants? 2 weeks? And no money in the accounts to make it happen? Chapter 5. Back to the roots. Nicole stared at the message like it might vanish if she blinked too hard. 40 plants, 2 weeks, paid gig. The kind of opportunity she'd been praying for. One that didn't come wrapped in affiliate links or drop-shipped gadgets, but in the form of real, local credibility. And yet, she felt paralyzed. Her brain immediately offered a list of reasons it couldn't work. No inventory, no capital to buy plants, no time to prepare and package, no childcare, no plan. She took a deep breath and copied the message to Chase. Nicole, this just came in. What do I even say? Chase, say yes, then figure it out. Nicole, we have $16 in the account. Chase, Nick, we do have money. You don't have to do this all on your own. Nicole, I know. I need to prove to myself that I can make this work without reaching into your pocket every time I hit a bump. There was a pause. Then Chase replied, okay, I get it. Still think you're a little crazy, but you're my favorite kind. Use your other currency. Creativity, community. You've got more resources than you think. Nicole stared at his words, her heart swelling and crackling at the same time. Wrong. Nicole stared at his words, her heart swelling and cracking at the same time. This was her dream, and this time she wanted to carry it, not because Chase couldn't or wouldn't, but because she needed to know she could. By morning, Nicole had a plan. Scrappy, unconventional, a little chaotic, just like her. She announced a plant rescue party on social media. Help us save sad plants and earn store credit. Drop off healthy clippings or unwanted greenery this Saturday. Bring your kids. We'll have cookies. Let's grow something beautiful together. She messaged her old supplier and asked if he'd consider a partial trade. Free advertising for discounted shipment? To her surprise, he agreed. You always brought the good vibes, he replied. Let's make it work. Nicole spent the next few days turning the Green Temptress into what was meant to be a greenhouse of community, not just commerce. She rearranged the floor plan to make space for a potting station, dug out the old chalkboard sign from storage, and wrote in messy cursive, "Don't just buy a plant, be part of one's comeback story." She posted videos all day, watering routines, plant unboxings, a voiceover series called Plants I've Nearly Killed and What They've Taught Me. Her audience grew, not just in numbers, but in connection. They didn't want perfection. They wanted honesty. Saturday came. Nicole woke up early and packed the kids into the car. She made a vat of iced herbal tea and picked up the dollar store cookies. She didn't have staff or marketing help or a polished system. What she did have was a story people believed in. By 10 a.m., family started trickling in, some with overgrown ivy, others with scrawny succulents. A teenage girl brought 2 crates of forgotten grocery store orchids and asked if she could volunteer for school credit. Nicole said yes, almost tearfully. Fleetwood Mac played from a Bluetooth speaker. A few moms exchanged numbers. One dad built a pyramid out of cracked pots, while his daughter decorated them with paint pens. The store was alive in a way that it hadn't been for months. Nicole didn't just sit. She bounced the baby on her hip while coaching a guest on how to repot a ZZ plant. She helped a woman name her new fern, Francine. She helped film short clips and posted them during diaper changes. By 4 p.m., she had had enough plant donations and purchases to fulfill the hotel order and cover rent. That night, Nicole curled up in a blanket on the couch with her laptop, heart full and body aching. The shop still had a long way to go, but today had been a turning point. Not because she'd made a profit, but because she'd remembered why she started. She pulled up her content calendar and wrote at the top in big, bold letters, "What would make my customers feel rooted, not just sold to?" Her phone buzzed, a new message, this time from someone she didn't know. "Hi, I saw your TikTok about healing plants. Do you offer a subscription box or kits for kids to learn too?" Nicole blinked. She hadn't mentioned a subscription box to anyone yet. She'd only typed it in that sticky note list days ago in the quiet. A smile curled at the corners of her mouth. Maybe the universe had been listening. Chapter 6, Growing Pains. Nicole was up before the kids. That alone felt like a victory. She tiptoed into the kitchen, made a cup of tea instead of her usual caffeine bomb, and pulled out her spiral-bound notebook, the one she always used when things started to click. The air smelled like rain and eucalyptus. Her phone buzzed with fresh notifications, but she didn't check them yet. For the first time in months, she wasn't chasing an idea. She was building one. The hotel project consumed the next 10 days. Nicole turned the back of the Green Temptress into a temporary workshop, labeling trays with each guest room number and carefully pairing pots with low-maintenance greenery. Chase helped after dinner, holding babies and drilling drainage holes, while Nicole boxed up ferns and wrote care tags in her best cursive. Her content kept growing too. She posted daily, behind-the-scenes clips of prepping hotel orders, funny voiceovers about being a planty hot mess, and one surprising hit, Lily explained the difference between snake plants and spider plants in a princess dress. That reel got 22,000 views. Nicole laughed when she saw the comments roll in. This kid is a vibe. I'd buy from her before I'd buy from you, LOL. What kind of soil does Princess Lily recommend? The shop wasn't exploding with customers yet, but people were DMing, asking when they could visit. A teacher emailed asking if Nicole would do a plant care workshop for her class. Nicole reread the email 3 times. This was real. It was working. Still, the stress hadn't disappeared. It had just morphed. There were too many moving pieces and not enough time. The hotel plants took over the floor space, and a customer tripped over a box on Wednesday. Nicole apologized with a free aloe vera, then cried in the storage closet afterward. She kept a running list of things she was too exhausted to do. Update Shopify, follow up with the artist who wanted to collab, book the coffee shop for Cactus and Coffee Saturdays, which had been postponed twice, finish painting the Kids Grow Too sign for the new plant shelf. The overwhelm didn't vanish just because the dream had started to bloom. But this time, it felt like a good kind of tired. On Thursday, Chase picked up the kids so Nicole could spend 2 uninterrupted hours working the floor, and she forgot how much she loved it. The rhythm of it, replanting a finicky fern, helping a couple pick out a plant for their first apartment, talking a customer out of overwatering her snake plant. The shop was still slow, but every interaction felt warmer, less transactional, more connected. Just before closing, Nicole sat on a stool behind the counter and took a breath, a real one. She looked around at the pots she'd repainted, the new community bulletin board with kid-drawn cactus art, the rescued plants on the glow-up shelf, each with a handwritten name tag, one even named Chase. She smiled to herself, still tired, still slightly broke, but something had shifted. She wasn't running anymore. She was rooting. That night, she opened her laptop to reply to the teacher's email and froze. At the top of her inbox was a message from a name she didn't recognize. Subject: curious about a wholesale collaboration. She clicked it open. Hi, Nicole. We've been following your content and love your heart-forward approach to business. We're a Denver-based wellness box subscription and are exploring local plant add-ons for our spring boxes. Would you be open to chatting about a possible wholesale partnership? Emily, Bloom & Bee Co. Nicole covered her mouth. Another opportunity? Another yes. But before she could reply, she heard the baby crying and Lily arguing with her reflection about whether pajamas were a tool of oppression. She sighed, closed the laptop, and stood. Everything would wait. For now, she had to water the roots at home. Chapter 7, Plant Panic. Nicole stood in the center of the Green Temptress, surrounded by packing materials, half-labeled boxes, and a to-do list that felt more like a novel. The hotel order was due in 48 hours. 40 plants, cleaned, trimmed, potted, and prepped with handwritten care cards. And the wholesale email from Bloom & Bee still sat unread in her inbox, mocking her. She hadn't replied yet. Not yet. Not because she wasn't thrilled, she was, but because saying yes to something that big, that soon, felt like lighting a match in a dry forest. Exciting, yes, but also capable of burning this place to the ground. The baby had a runny nose, Lily had a mild stomach bug, and had claimed the shop's lounge chair as her healing throne. Nicole was running on peppermint tea and adrenaline. She hadn't washed her hair in 4 days and had officially entered the messy bun is lifestyle era. Chase offered to take the kids for the evening so she could focus. We've got this, he said, pressing a kiss to her forehead. You've already done the hard part. This is just follow through. Nicole smiled, but inside she was spiraling. The order was bigger than she'd ever handled. She didn't have enough soil. She'd miscounted how many ceramic pots were in stock, and she'd forgotten to order packing filler. Again. She opened the register drawer. $73.22 in cash. Not enough. She stared at her Venmo balance. Empty. This time, she didn't even message Chase. She didn't want to ask, not because he wouldn't help. He would, without question, but because she needed this win to be hers. Nicole threw on a denim jacket and bolted for the nearest nursery, praying she would get creative with smaller plants and fill the order with personality, if not uniformity. By 5 p.m., she had soil, filler, and a handful of donated plants from a nursery employee who recognized her from TikTok. I love what you're doing, the woman said, handing over a box of snake plants. Denver needs more shops like yours. Nicole almost hugged her. Back at the Green Temptress, she turned on Tracy Chapman, put her hair in a top knot, and got to work. She lined up pots, assigned names, and even made tiny watercolor labels for the extra touch. One by one, the plants came to life. Okay, Jasmine, she whispered to a pothos that had been wilting 2 days earlier. You're going to room 205. You've got this. By 10:30 p.m., the final plant was placed in its box. She collapsed into the rolling chair behind the counter and took a slow, shaky breath. Her back hurt, her eyes stung, but she'd done it. Every single plant was beautiful, imperfect maybe, but intentional. She texted Chase. Done. Everyone boxed and ready. I didn't borrow $1. He replied within seconds. That's because you're a warrior, and also mildly terrifying when focused. I love you. Nicole smiled and closed her eyes. The next morning, the hotel's assistant manager came to pick up the order. She was young, stylish, and visibly impressed. Wow, these feel like people, not products. Nicole laughed. That's kind of the vibe. The woman handed her a check and said, we'll definitely be ordering again for spring. Also, would you be open to teaching a plant care class in our courtyard? Some of our guests have been asking. Nicole blinked twice. Yes, I think I would. After she left, Nicole sat down in the sunlit shop, holding the check and trying not to cry. She hadn't just pulled it off. She'd done it her way. The hard way, maybe, but the honest way. She'd opened her laptop and clicked the Bloom and Bee email. This time she replied, Hi, Emily. I'd love to chat about a partnership. I've got ideas, and I think our roots might just tangle up beautifully. Nicole. As she hit send, Lily burst into the shop in mismatched socks and yelled, Mom, can we make the plant shelves into a hotel for bugs? Nicole didn't even hesitate. Absolutely, she said, but they're going to need room numbers. Chapter 8, Steady Blooms. The Monday after the hotel delivery, Nicole woke up to something she hadn't felt in a long time. Steadiness. Not an adrenaline-fueled panic, not a high from a trending sound or a risky new idea, just a calm, grounded sense that maybe, finally, things were beginning to work. She sat on the porch with her tea, watching Lily pretend to run a bug hotel on the patio while the baby gnawed on a wooden spoon. The sunlight made everything feel just a little more possible. Back at the Green Temptress, the shelves weren't fully stocked, and the paint was still peeling in one corner. But the space had shifted. So had Nicole. She added a Plant of the Week feature on the wall, started printing tiny tags with quirky names and little care facts. She posted another video, this time a quiet moment of her replanting a scorched monstera. The caption read, You don't have to toss something out just because it wilted under pressure. Give it time, trim the dead parts, water what you want. The reel hit 30,000 in 48 hours. More importantly, the comments were different now. This made me cry. Following because your plant metaphors are saving me. Do you have a guide, a course, anything? Nicole looked at her content calendar, the one she used to ignore, and realized she actually wanted to keep going. She even pulled out her sticky note list again and added, create a simple downloadable plant care for beginners PDF. Add a bring a friend punch card at checkout. Offer a kids workshop once a month. But with the growth came new decisions. Bloom and Bee had emailed again, this time with a full proposal and numbers. They wanted 75 mini plants to ship out with their spring wellness boxes. Nicole knew she needed help. Real help. She sat down with Chase that night after the kids were asleep, laptop open and heart racing. I think I need to hire someone. Just a few hours a week, maybe a student or a stay-at-home mom. Chase replied, I've been waiting for you to say that. Really? You're amazing, Nick, but you're not a robot. You're not supposed to do all this alone. Nicole nodded slowly. I want to keep growing, but I don't want to lose the feeling I have right now. What feeling? Feeling like I'm doing this the right way, focused, rooted, present. He reached for her hand. Then protect that feeling. Say no to things that pull you off course, and say yes to help. She squeezed his fingers. You're really good at this, you know? At what? Being the calm one while I'm the tornado? He laughed. Well, tornadoes can be beautiful too. That weekend, Nicole hired her first part-time helper, Anna, a local college student who lit up when talking about houseplants and graphic design. Anna helped update signage, label stock, and brainstorm a flyer for Cactus and Coffee Saturdays, which was finally launching the following weekend. I think it's going to be so cute, Anna said, arranging mugs and succulents like she was styling a magazine shoot. This shop feels like a safe space. Nicole blinked hard. It had started as a scramble, a prayer, a barely holding it together mess. Now it was a place people wanted to be, a place where she wanted to stay. Later that night, Nicole sat in the back room, flipping through a little black notebook where she'd once written random ideas with wild abandon. Some had worked, some hadn't, but all of them had led her here. She turned to a blank page and wrote, "Don't chase everything. Grow one thing deep, then let it branch. Then, just below that, I can do anything. I don't have to do everything." Her phone buzzed again, a DM from a woman in another state. "Your story made me want to open something too. I thought I was too scattered, but maybe I'm just meant to create." Nicole stared at the message. Her voice had started to ripple. Her mess was turning into someone else's mirror. She tapped out a reply. "You're not too scattered. You're just not rooted yet. Pick one seed, water it well." Chapter 9. One Rabbit, One Trail. Nicole swore she could feel her heart skip a beat. She stood in the bathroom, toothbrush in hand, blinking at the little white stick on the counter. Positive. She double-checked the box, took a breath, then laughed. A small, breathy, almost hysterical laugh. "Of course," she whispered to reflection. "Of course." That afternoon, she and Chase sat on the back porch, watching Lily dig a bug pool in the flower bed while the baby napped inside. Nicole passed him the test. He didn't flinch. Instead, he smiled, slow, steady, a little shocked, a little thrilled, all Chase. "I mean, wow," he said. "Are we okay with this?" "I think we are," Nicole said softly. "I mean, I panicked for the first hour, but yeah, I think we are." He took her hand. "You're doing so much, Nick. This changes things. We'll need to slow some stuff down." "I don't want to slow down the shop," she said quickly. "Not in the bad way. I don't want to start another hustle. I want to root deeper. I want to build the systems, train Anna, maybe start a new arm of the shop online. Slowly. But I want this to keep going." Chase nodded. "Then that's what we'll do." Over the next few weeks, Nicole became obsessed with efficiency. She made a laminated weekly task chart for Anna, created plant care station signs, streamlined how customers checked out by pulling the square stand closer to the door, and said no a lot. No to a local pop-up that would have derailed her weekend rhythm. No to a bulk order with a brand that didn't align with her vibe. No to another new side hustle that tried to seduce her at midnight. And she made no, and each no made space for a better yes. She started posting a weekly video series called One Rabbit, One Trail, sharing a single business tip each week, plant-themed, of course. The videos didn't go viral, but the comments were gold. "Needed this today. I'm chasing too many rabbits. Going to pick my one trail. Thank you. You should turn these into a workbook or course." Nicole scribbled the last idea in her notebook, but didn't chase it. Not yet. Not until the Green Temptress could run without her. At the next checkup, the midwife asked if this pregnancy felt different. Nicole grinned. "Yeah, I feel like I'm actually ready this time. Not just for the baby, but for the life I want to grow around them." The midwife smiled. "That's a beautiful way to put it." Nicole placed her hand on her belly and exhaled. This baby would be born into a steadier version of her. Not less ambitious, just more focused. She didn't have to prove anything anymore. Not to anyone else, not even to herself. She'd already done it. The following week, Anna surprised her with a handmade sign, painted in leafy greens and gold lettering. "Water what you want." No, Nicole hung it in the front window. Every customer would see it. Every customer would feel it. And every time she passed it, she'd remember. This didn't come from chasing 10 paths at once. This came from choosing one. Chapter 10, Rooted and Rising. The morning of Cactus and Coffee Saturday dawned warm and golden, with that Colorado crispness that made even city sidewalks feel like a fresh start. Nicole arrived early to the Green Temptress, sipping her decaf tea. Nicole arrived early to Green Temptress, sipping her decaf tea and humming to the old indie playlist Chase had made for her when she first opened the shop. Anna was already inside, lighting the Palo Santo and setting up the mug bar. They didn't speak at first, just moved in rhythm, potting soil, mugs, mini cactus gift bags, sign-in sheet. Everything had a place. Nicole stood back and took it all in. Customers would be arriving soon. Some for the coffee, some for the plants, and some just to soak in the cozy, slightly chaotic, wildly heartfelt energy of this place. And the place was hers. Built slowly, built honestly, built with the kind of intention she never knew she was capable of when she started. The day flowed like magic. Lily played hostess in a too small apron and passed out cactus cookies that looked vaguely inappropriate, but were well received. One guest asked about the next plant workshop. Another asked if Nicole would consider offering a monthly business circle for creative moms. Nicole blinked at that one, then nodded, heart thudding. Maybe. The smell of coffee mingled with fresh soil and the scent of dreams unfolding. By noon, Nicole had sold out of pothos. She didn't care. The energy in the room was worth more than inventory. That night, Chase tucked Lily into bed and sat beside Nicole on the porch. They didn't talk at first, just breathed. Finally, Nicole said, "You were right, you know." Chase raised an eyebrow. "About what?" "I didn't need to chase everything. I just needed to choose one thing, water it, build roots, and trust it would grow." Chase smiled. "You never stop dreaming. You just finally picked one dream to stick around long enough to bloom." Nicole leaned her head on his shoulder. "And the rest?" "They'll still be there," he said, "when you're ready. Or maybe not. Maybe this one dream is the tree that carries the rest." A week later, she launched the downloadable beginner's plant guide. Nothing fancy, just something helpful and kind. A little gift for the people who, like her, used to doubt they could keep anything alive. She called it Water What You Want, a plant-first path to focus for creatives. It got over 300 downloads in the first weekend. The comments were different now, less frantic, more ready. Women who wanted to do a million things, but were finally realizing they didn't have to. Nicole smiled as she replied to one, "Pick one seed, give it your whole heart, then watch what happens." She still had ideas, of course. The bug hotel shelf, a line of locally made pots, a mom night at the shop, maybe even a course someday. But she wasn't chasing anymore. She was tending, rooting, and rising. Slow, steady, beautiful, calm.